and welcome welcome to the second week in May. I've read a book.
I've read a book.
We're on to a good start compared to what we did at the end of April.
Yeah.
That's really good.
Yeah.
Shall I go first?
You go first. Yeah, you go. No, you go first.
Because I've got so much to say. So much to say. I read this. That's what I'm going to say about it. This. I'll start by saying it's really wrongly promoted. This is not a thriller. Well, it is for the first half of the book. And then it goes off on some tangent that, without ruining it, is just... All I can say is just it's wrongly promoted. But... And then people can make up their own minds. However, and I started delving then after I'd read it into what other people thought, and everyone said it's wrongly promoted. I do not get it at all. Like, to the point where I reread the last few chapters over and over and over again, thinking that I was losing my mind. The most shocking ending you'll read all year. Yeah, it is, but not for a good way. I don't know what happened. I don't know if who wrote it? Sarah Pinborough had a nervous breakdown at the end of it and thought, I don't know what to say. Like, I don't know how to round off this story. Let's do this. Believe it or not, I gave this book a 3-star because it is ingeniously crap. And I have to say that. It's just ingenious. In the way, behind her eyes is amazing because take it literally. And that's not really spoiling anything. It had all the stuff to be so good. This review on the back, the most unsettling thriller of the year. Yeah, I agree with that. It is unsettling because it's not a thriller. Right? Read it now before someone spoils the ending. I agree. Do that. Do that, definitely. I think everyone needs to read this book just to... Like, I'm confused. I was left so vacant in my little brain after I read this. I gave it 3 stars because it left me thinking about it for days, because I honestly thought I was losing my mind. And that's this book. That's all I'm going to say about it. I got to the end. Didn't DNF it because I thought it was something different until I got to the end.
Yeah.
You read, I'll put it this way, you read that much of the book thinking it's something and then that much is nothing. Like, I don't know what happened. I do not know what happened. I don't get it. I really don't get it. What are you laughing?
When I wanted to start this channel,
Yeah.
I wanted it to be positive, and I wanted it to be
I've given it a positive review though.
I wanted it to
the
be
most shocking reading. Yes, it is the most shocking.
like, I wanted authors to be like celebrated just because they took the effort out to write the book, and you've just shattered.
No. Outstanding effort, character development and everything was great.
There we go.
Really good.
Yeah.
Don't know what happened at the end.
Just don't know what it developed into.
Yeah, exactly. I just don't. Read it.
No.
You can do this for the next buddy read. Have I sold it to you? If you haven't picked up this book yet, read it. Please let me. If you have read it and you're watching, please comment below and tell me what you thought. Some people would love it. It's not obviously my type of book. I do kind of like wizardry stuff.
Yeah.
And I do, obviously.
Yeah.
I do love wizardry stuff. This weren't that. This weren't wizardry stuff.
So
This
I don't
was just,
like it.
Insane. Yeah, I don't like it because it weren't wizards. But, no, it was just because it was advertised as something different. I think if I walked into this knowing what it was, it'd have been a really good book. And for those people who do enjoy that stuff, it'd be excellent. Some people absolutely love it, but others say it's really just misadvertised. I don't understand why it's called a thriller. Well, I do for the first half of the book, but I was reading it as a thriller. And I was like, ooh, something's going to happen.
Like a realistic.
And then,
like,
and then it just goes off onto a tangent that even in a magical, mystical world or universe, that even I don't think this would happen. I think, like, imagine going off to Asgard to meet Thor and gave him this book. I think he'd think, what the hell is that? I do. I honestly do. They wouldn't even be reading this in Hogwarts. Because it's unrealistic.
Well, there's a quote for the cover.
Yeah. So that's my review of it. But it's good. Read it. Please let me know what you thought of it if you do read it. I mean, it's just mental. I could talk about it all day, but you won't read it now.
Well, I have read yet another biography, Russell Howard, Good News, Bad News, by Abby Smith. It is an unofficial biography. I don't know who Abby Smith is. I don't know if she's like a lot of these like writers who write unofficial biographies, like journalists, or like sometimes even like friends of the people. But I don't know who Abby Smith is. But yeah, so she wrote this, Russell Howard, Good News, Bad News, and obviously it's about Russell Howard. Russell Howard is a British comedian, and he's on things. He has like Russell Howard's Good News, and he has a... can't remember the name of it now, but he's got a special on Netflix, and he's really popular on YouTube, etc. So you can go and Google him and find out if you're not aware. Now, I am a huge fan of biographies. I'm less of a fan of unofficial biographies because it's... the reason why I like biographies is because it's somebody else's perspective, somebody else's way of looking at things. Yeah, it's cool to hear about stories and stuff, but sometimes in there they have like little lessons or little... I think of a bad thing like this. I think of negative things that have affected me in this way to make me feel better, and then I'm reading it and go, oh, that's a really nice way of looking at that specific problem. Maybe I can take something from that. Whereas an unofficial biography, when it's written about someone else... Eh?
Yeah, it's still written by someone else, though. Oh, I'll forget it. Don't read them anyway.
So my main problem with an unofficial biography, which I guess you could kind of say this is the exact thing that a biography is, it was more a trivia book, if you get what I mean. It wasn't, oh, he thinks and perceives, and I mean, there's a little bit of that, don't get me wrong. It's like, oh, well, you know, this is how he looks at the world, but there wasn't that from that own person, you know? Like, when I finished Stephen Fry's last week, he projected how he viewed his life. David Mitchell was exactly the same. He projected, oh, this is how I look at things. I find that so interesting. I find that the most interesting bit about the book, whereas, because obviously Abby doesn't know how he does, really, it was more of a trivia book of, oh, well, you know, this is his favourite car, and this is his favourite so-and-so, and this is where he grew up. And so it was very much, unfortunately for me, it was very much a very interesting and fun read about somebody who I admire a lot, but without, I was always aware that there was little bits missing from my usual kind of checklist, which I like to get from things like this, you see. So that was kind of the main thing that dragged it down for me. It's still a really strong 3-star. Mm-hmm. And I would recommend it if you're interested in Russell Howard, or just, you know, think you might enjoy it. But I really do hope it kind of left me going, oh no, this is good, but it just feels like a tickle. It just feels like a part 1, and I want Russell himself to write part 2. I want him to write something that contains that little bit of extra flavour, if you know what I mean. But yeah, no, it is a very interesting read, and obviously it's packed full of stories and funny bits and jokes and things from his past, and stories from his tour, etc. Which is a great read, but there's a lot of it takes his opinions from interviews that he's done with like newspapers, which are famously not their real opinion. So it does seem like it's like almost lacking truth. If that's probably a little bit too strong, but you get what I mean. A little bit like lacking truth. So that was my main problem with it. But again, I don't want it to be too negative, because there were very interesting stories. There were funny bits in it, and I'm a lot more interested in Russell Howard now after reading it, which is good. It didn't put me off. It only strengthened it. But as I say, and I won't say it again because I'm getting bored of saying it, it was that flavour of the life perspective that can only come from...
you just wish that he'd just bring out his own?
I wish he wrote it. Because...
Is there pictures in it of him?
Oh, yeah, things like...
Oh, just normal stuff that you get off Google?
Yeah, so just like stock photos, but that's all. There's not really... I don't think there's any... Unless I've missed it. There's no kind of like baby photos or anything, even though I'm not interested in that.
No, but...
Yeah, so I'm gonna say strong 3-star. But yeah, you understand my problems with it.
Yeah, very good. Well, on that light note...
Yeah.
I don't think we've had a very good
What
week.
a shit week it's been.
I don't think we've had that great a week with books. I hope next week's better.
I hope it is. It should be. Mine should be.
Mine should be. I've got high hopes.
Yeah.
Let's not overdash.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm going through this slump now after reading that.
Me
Feel
too.
like, yeah.
So if
But,
you've
yeah.
had a bad week, guys, don't worry, because we have as well. Hope you feel better after watching this video.
Read that book.
Yeah.
It'll cheer you up or make you lose your mind.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much for watching. Make sure you scribe
Scribe.
and
Always scribe.
be part of the notification entourage.
There's like 2 people. Me and him.
Yeah. So thank you very much for watching. Let us know what you're reading. Check out all the other videos. Check out some specials we're doing as well. And have a nice day.